I asked ChatGPT to come up with 10 guitar rules for using reverb pedals. Number 1, thou shalt not use reverb without first consulting the tone gods. Reverb shall only be used in moderation, lest thou be accused of reverb abuse. Thou shalt not use reverb on clean guitar tones, for it is a sin. Thou shalt not use reverb on distorted guitar tones, for it is also a sin. Thou shalt not use reverb on any guitar tone, for it is always a sin. Thou shalt not use reverb in any context, for all guitar tones are inherently reverby. And thou shalt not adjust the reverb mix knob past 11 o'clock, for it is the point of no return. Thou shalt not use reverb on any guitar solo, for it is a sign of weakness. Number 9, thou shalt not use reverb on any guitar riff, for it is a sign of overcompensation. Thou shalt not use reverb at all, for all guitarists should just stick to playing dry. Great Britain needs a new national anthem, something that really resonates with us citizens, something that really tells the world who we are, what we've done, what we're going to do. So this is my pitch for the new national anthem for Great Britain. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay. Sorry.
This has better be the best piece of music I've ever written, I swear to God. This is a really good start. It is wacky. I don't think we need to talk about that. I think that's clearly a masterpiece.
This is a mandolin. I can't play mandolin. I also can't play slide. And I also am not very good at using the E-bow. So what happens if we combine these three things?
The Chord Monologue is a monophonic analog synthesizer. It's got a pretty reasonably sized memory and powerful sound sculpting tools. It's got a step sequencer and plenty of MIDI functionality, so as long as you're comfortable with the smaller key sizes, you're going to get a lot out of it. The Potato is a vegetable. As far as synthesis goes, the Potato offers 0 voices and has maybe got 2 or 3 sounds. There's a button on the back that launches a sample as well. You don't get to choose the sample, it's completely random, you just get whatever you're given.
Putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay!
That's unfortunate. But it is true analog, and it could be chips. Now, in terms of musical application, I think it's fair to say that the Monologue might just have the edge, but you've got to consider price. The Monologue retails for around £250, whilst the Potato is less than £1. For me, the Potato is the clear winner. Also, it has a soul. Hi, my name's Liam Taylor, LTGuitarist on most of the platforms. I'm a musician, composer, music educator. If it's music related, I'm probably into it. It's pretty hard to be a musician right now. I mean, it's always been kinda hard, and it's almost not worth making music. Almost. It's not like I can just stop making stuff, and believe me, I've tried that. Ooh. Thankfully, there's Ko-fi. You probably know about all the ways that you can support independent creators like Patreon, OnlyFans, stapling a $5 to pigeons. Platforms like Patreon are amazing if you want to offer something exclusive to your fans every single month, but I don't want people's access to the music I make and the tutorials I make to be limited by their income. I want my stuff to be available for free, but my accountant tells me that that's a really bad business model. And that's why I made this Ko-fi account. If you're lucky enough to have a bit of spare cash floating around and you've enjoyed or made use of anything I've made over the years, you can buy me a coffee, or you can contribute towards new computer hardware, guitar strings, you know, all those things that are necessary to music creation but that aren't free. If you make music professionally or as a hobbyist, I hope you take a moment to check out my YouTube channel or my Twitter account, and if you like what you see there and have the means to do so, I hope you'll consider supporting me on Ko-fi. See you later.
You hear that? It's weird.
Guess what? I'm poor.
Where did I get my obvious knowledge of music theory? Fun story. So this is going back to my early 20s, so 13 years ago when I was at music school. There were a handful of... Shut up, me. Hello, Internet.
It's dark. It's really dark in here for some reason. I'm not sure why. I mean, I've moved some stuff around. Maybe that's it. If I go here, yeah, that looks good. That's a good look for me. Hello, internet. How is it going? Let me turn my mic up ever so slightly. There we go. Hello. We are talking today about hiding images in music, which is a really silly thing that brings me a lot of joy. That computer started rattling, which is really helpful. Really, really helpful. Yes, so hiding images in music is something that I've been doing for years and years. There isn't really a short version of this story, but basically, years ago, I was part of this little online community of artists, and their whole thing was taking a piece of art in any medium and then having artists in different disciplines responding to that artwork in a new discipline. So someone might make let's say a vase, and then someone does a painting of a photo of the vase, someone does a painting of the photo, someone writes a poem about the painting, someone sets music to that poem, etc., etc. So you start with one piece of artwork and then you end up somewhere completely different, and that was really interesting to me. And because of who I am, I kind of took that way too literally, I think, and I started looking into ways of translating images into sound and vice versa. And that's a process called sonification, and sonification is used by data scientists quite often, because often large piles of data are quite difficult to it's quite difficult to see patterns in large patterns of data. So when you translate it into audio, sometimes you can hear rhythms or melodies, and that makes you go, oh, there's a pattern that means this, therefore something, I don't know, science. And then sometimes it gets misrepresented sonification. Like, you can see, if you Google sonification, you'll probably come across articles of people saying, hey, this is what deforestation sounds like. And of course it's not, because what always happens is whoever's made this sonification has assigned a specific set of notes to the data set. So it's always going to be in the major key, or it's always going to be in the minor key. So when you're trying to say, like, hey, war bad, the data backs this up because it made a sad song. Or did you assign it to the minor key and play it slowly? If you made it Mixolydian and fast, would it sound like Joe Satriani? Like, what, you know, the scale and the tempo is doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. And if you set it to a sad piano, of course it sounds morose. Tangential actually did a really great video on sonification, and that was one of the sources I sort of listened to when I was developing this idea for my own uses, and made sure that actually some of the points he makes are really important and interesting. So I was like, well, how can I counter that? How can I make sure I'm not guilty of these same things? And that's kind of how we get to where I am now with sonification. So I'm going to talk today about a couple bits of specific software that I use to do this, what kind of images work well, and then we're going to try and hide some images in some music. So we are going to get into some normal composition stuff inside of Cubase later. Let's try and make some samples to sonify to begin with. So the absolute bare bones, where's the best place to start? By getting onto the keyboard, not my face, is probably good. Let's start with a little piece of software called Photosounder. Photosounder is great. Photosounder, in fact, I think there's a new version coming out soon. Did I misread? I can't seem to find it. New Photosounder 1.11. There you go. I haven't upgraded to this new version, but it exists. There is a demo of Photosounder that is available from photosounder.com. It's called Photosounder because that's kind of what it does. It's a Ron Seal type deal. Photosounder. here it is an interface like this, very straightforward, which makes it very easy to use. Let's open something. So I've got a little folder of stuff here. I've got some memes ready to go. I've also got some monograms. I got a really old book of monograms, and I did that thing that all the graphic designers are doing at the moment, where you scan something but you wiggle the paper as it scans. So I did that. So we import the image, and you can see it kind of stretches it to conform to whatever the shape of this is. All you really need to know is that black is nothing, white, what am I trying to say? The brightness is amplitude. So if it's black, it doesn't make any sound. If it's white, it makes the most sound. If it's kind of grey, it's sort of in the middle. Yeah? Brightness equals amplitude. Easy to follow. It's going to play this image left to right. So we're going to start over here, and it's going to go across, and the stuff at the bottom here is going to be the lowest pitch. The stuff at the top here is going to be the highest pitch. It's a little bit like a piano roll, or a spectrograph, I suppose. So if I just play this, it'll sound like this. Which is interesting. Not unusable, but a little bit abrasive. There's some cool stuff in there. So what are the controls we have? We can change the time resolution to make it faster or slower. It does sound a little bit like ray guns. We can change the frequency scale. So this is linear. And you can see the frequencies on the side here change as we do that. And we can also change the frequency range. So the lowest frequency could be kind of 100 or so. The highest frequency could be, let's say, 2000-ish. And the tighter you make it, yeah, it kind of is a little more interesting, a little spookier. You can get some really cool rumbly stuff out of it as well. Sounds a bit like, I don't know, whales or something. So those are all the controls that are available there. You can, of course, invert the image. I'm not going to play that because it will deafen you. Because, of course, white is loud. Cool. So that's basically what Photo Sounder does. There's also some cool applications for painting with sound. Is it possible to do file new? There we go. We've got here some tools for drawing, which is quite interesting. So that'll sound a bit like a piano. It's quite low, isn't it? Let's do this. Oops. A bit like a piano. More like a piano than the other thing. So this is basically to do with I mean that's kind of how audio looks, how pitches specifically look. I'm trying to give you the let's try. So if I were to spray like this, when we play an instrument, that's kind of what it looks like under a spectrograph. We have this bottom note here, the fundamental frequency, the pitch that if you play C1, everyone goes, ah yes, C1, I know that. The fundamental frequency, and then every line above it is called a harmonic frequency, and it's the number of harmonic frequencies, their distance between each other, their individual amplitude. These are all factors that make out the timbre of the instrument. So we could play this same note on a cello, a piano, a saxophone, a guitar, human voice, and the specific harmonics above it would change, but the fundamental would be the same. So this is quite fun if you really wanted to just draw in some notes. Or let's change the frequency range so you can hear that. Very, very strange. Exoskeleton, how's it going, my dude? Has been a while. Has. So this is weird, right? I acknowledge this is very strange, not especially musical, and actually quite hard to control. If you literally just want to stick images in your music, you don't need to know much more than that. Let's take, for example, if we just wanted to import troll face, I reckon it's going to sound kind of annoying, but it will technically work. Yeah, that's sort of fine. Is there something we can do to that to make it sound a little bit more musical? Yes. Yes, there absolutely is. If you were in... if you didn't have Photoshop, you could try and just draw in some lines. Kind of just change it up. Make it a new... I don't know, just make it a little bit different if you really wanted to. What I'm going to do is open up Photoshop. And just show you some of the effects you can throw on here. If you don't have Photoshop, I'm sure... maybe I could use Canva. I'll just do it here because I don't like. If you use GIMP, you'll be able to do the same sort of thing. I've been using Photoshop recently, so it's a little easier for me to do. Ignore all my projects. Let's open up. That is the wrong folder. Good stuff, me. We want this one. There we go. Photoshop. Stuff to sonify. Let's import Trollface. So I talked about lines, horizontal lines, as kind of harmonics and fundamental frequencies and all this kind of sciencey crap. This isn't going to be a one-shot pack, but I think like there might be room to do like a one-shot pack of samples about like, if you want to stick pentagrams in your music, you just drag and drop these files. That might be really fun. Let's take this particular layer. I do graphic design. I'm not a graphic designer, so forgive me if my usage of Photoshop is janky. But hey, you're musicians. You don't know how to use Photoshop. I'm trying to find filter gallery. There we go. If you go to the halftone pattern, oh, there it is. You can select dots, circles, lines, and you can basically just separate it out into lines like so. And what's helpful about that is it then means that it's gonna be slightly more melodic. It's not going to be great. It's still going to be a little bit janky and weird, but it is going to resemble music in a way that's slightly more pleasing. So let's go File, Export, Quick Export, MPG, Trollface. I'm just going to call it Trollface Lines. As you can see, I've already done that to the Aliens guy. He might need a little more work. We'll talk about that in a bit. Let's also do it to You Don't Say. Oh, excuse me. Actually, the way to do that is to leave. And the reason I think we need to do that to You Don't Say is because he's got like big blocks of white, right? Which is just going to be proper loud and annoying. So we're going to go filter gallery and do the same thing. This is quite a small image, so hopefully this will work. There we go. see what that does. File. Quick export as PNG. Where's... Oh, yeah. There it is. You don't say. Lines. If your image is like these janky monograms, I don't think you necessarily need to do this because they're quite thin themselves, so it's not really a problem. Cool. So then let's open Photoshop. Nope. Photo Sounder. There we go. That's very helpful. Thankfully, I did this. Go away. Go away. Stuff to sonify. So we'll open troll face lines. So is this any better or worse than it was initially? I mean, kinda. Let's try that again. Nightbot's being sassy. Interesting. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. That's fine. Sorry. Compare that to this. I think that's better. Yeah. So let's take this as an example. Let's just export that file. How do you save in this thing again? Save, there it is. Stuff to sonify. You just drag down as a WAV, please. Troll face Sonny. Troll face Sonny. Let's open up a couple others. Let's go janky monogram Sonny. Pretty cool. File save. WAV janky monogram 3 Sonny. Let's also open up aliens. How does he sound? Kind of magical, actually. File save. Aliens Sonny. Let's leave that there. Because there's some other cool stuff we can talk about. So we'll open up Cubase again, and what we can do, really straightforwardly, is we can just drag and drop those audio files in here. It does sound like a riser, then maybe that's what we'll use it for. Let's bring in Alien Sonny, shove it here. It's even shaped like a riser. It's pretty handy. So let's have a listen. It's a little bit janky, but it works. I'm going to go to my master chain here, and I'm going to open Analyzer Supervision. What I want to do here is, at the moment, it's just a level meter, which, you know, fine, but unhelpful. The little drop-down menu here, we are going to look for, where have you gone, spectrogram. I'm going to make it mix down, yeah, mono mix down. So if I play this, so it's a little bit janky, but he's in there. If we do this, let's play it again. Aliens. let's try it with something else. Let's drag in Troll Face. We'll put him there. And let's drag in Janky Monogram. I mean, that's pretty silly, right? I'm a big fan of all of this. And you lose some definition on the kind of the bass end. So something we might want to try is making it a little bit smaller in terms of the frequency range. So if we were to open up Photo Sounder again, open Troll Face Lines, and then let's go, let's move them up to like 50 to 3000 hertz. Let's try it. To 50 to 3000-ish. How does that sound? Why is it cleaner on the Troll Face? Great question. That is basically because of the original image. So the original Troll Face, even though we've added like the lines to it, it is just black and white. There's no like gradation, there's no grays, as opposed to Mr. Aliens. He's kind of grayscale. So the background has to be black so that there's no sound there. So I kind of reduced the contrast a little bit, but then the result is kind of a bit of audio noise. So we've done the tuning there. So then we just go File, Save. I'm going to call that Troll Face Sonny 2. Done. Close out of that. Troll Face Sonny 2. So let's compare these next to each other. So the problem now is that we've kind of we've squished it. Oh, actually, so if we just do that, there we go, that's fine. Something I think to bear in mind, but not to like worry about with this kind of thing, is that people are going to have all kinds of different devices to test your audio. So I don't know about spectrographs built into, or spectrograms built into other software. I also don't know a lot about the hardware ones. I assume there's hardware ones. Must be. I don't know a lot about them. I only really know a little bit about the one built into Cubase because it's built into Cubase. I would say don't worry too much about making sure it works on other devices. It's not like mastering. People aren't going to be doing this. People aren't going to be like trying to plug your track with sonified images in it into like their phone to show people the memes. This is basically doing silly stuff so you can tell people you hid stuff. And then if they find it, they find it. If not, you can make a YouTube video about it, like Mick Gordon did with the Doom soundtrack, like Apex Twin did. Make sure it works on your software, and then you're fine. So a little thing to look at is we do have some kind of oddness underneath this. So in this specific example, we could just do like a little bit of EQing there. So that looks like anything under 250 is kind of junky. So we could just come in here. I'm going to use a plugin so you can see it a little easier. Very overpowered. So let's do like a 90 cut at 250 hertz. Quite dramatic there. But then how does that look better? So I'll turn it on halfway through. Oh, actually no. Oh, so that might just be some factoring from artifacting from the spectrograph itself. That's interesting. That's slightly better. Yeah. So it's an imperfect art kind of by design. Mostly, I just think it's a lot of fun to screw around with. And I think there's... can you change the scale? Yes, you can kind of change the scale. So you can change duration, you can change brightness and such. Oh, there you go. So then if we just wanted to stick a troll face in a track and then like shove it on the internet, this would be enough to show off, basically. But there are like different kind of options you can do here. Very fun, very silly. Okay, so there are other... Why does it look like a Halloween mask? I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the time of year. Everything looks a little bit like a Halloween mask. There is another piece of software I'd like to talk about. This is a plugin from ImageLine, the guys that make Fruity Loops. This is the only thing of theirs that I have bought, and I have bought it for one specific reason. It has image synthesis built in. For some reason. It has image synthesis built in. And it's not... I've really struggled to work out how this kind of works. I don't really get it, but all I know is that if you play some sound, if you put an image into it and then press the buttons... What's interesting is that I use Fruity Loops. It's FL Studio. I'm old. It's Fruity Loops. What's a little bit annoying about this is that the scale is a bit janky, so you can sort of see the outline of him. Let's try some of these buttons. So I found that if you were to use Harmor, you can get some really cool sounds out of it, and you can get your images up there, but you need to kind of adjust the scaling often of your original image. Let's keep pressing some of these buttons. Those don't seem to be affecting it really, do they? That's pretty wild. I've tried so hard to understand what this plugin does. I don't. So we can sort of see him there. So let's have a little look. We've got some other plugins here. If you open up the presets, you can just go to image synthesis, and then what's per harmonic unison. Okay, that's great. Let's shove in janky monogram too. We need to turn the speed up quite a lot. Oh, there we go. That's quite fun. So this is quite high up, so if we go lower... What's nice about that is it sort of feels like it's got a bit of melody built in. I think we might use that today. Yeah. I mean, yeah, let's get into it. We've got this ready to go. Let's start. It is kind of dubsteppy because it's got that kind of sort of woody hollowness to it that's used quite a lot. Damn, where to begin? Let's leave all of those over there for the moment, and let's start by placing that sample. So if I bring my MIDI thing over here. So it needs to be longer, that's fine. I reckon we can go lower with that as well. Oh, that's annoying. Where does it end? Actually, let's lower the tempo a bit as well. Goes to there, so that's how many bars is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slightly annoying number of bars. We can probably change the speed of it. Yeah, let's change the speed so it sort of fits within 4 bars. Otherwise, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Oh yeah, a bit of a pan flute. Yeah. Cool. I think it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a kind of an arse to get it in to fit to any sort of tempo, but let's go battery, I guess. Come on, battery. I don't really know battery that well. That's going to be nice and weird. So let's do some sort of drum pan. Let's go half tempo. Yeah, something along these lines. That sort of works. So that sound is a little bit abrasive and annoying. I think if we hear it too much, it's going to become a real problem. There's obviously lots we can do to kind of fix that. We could stick some we could stick a little bit of delay on there perhaps. I think that might get intrusive. We could kind of automate the delay so it comes in after the fact a little bit. Ooh, trap drums. Quite possibly, yeah. Let me deal with this idea. So the drawback with Harmor is that you have one image per plugin. So I'm going to call that what was it called? Which one was that? Janky Monogram 2. Fine. Monogram 2. We're going to duplicate that. We're going to have 3 of these. We're going to have Monogram 1. Guess what? Monogram 3. Monogram 1. Guess what we're going to do here? Janky Monogram 1. Bosch Janky Monogram 3. Let's close that one. Janky Monogram. Nope. Janky Monogram 3. I need to move that start point, don't I? There we go. And possibly also for this one. There we go. So let's duplicate this. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 2. What I'm going to do there is add these to group. Janky Monogram group. And actually, if I make a folder, monograms, shove those all in there. The reason I'm doing that is because then I can control all of these sounds. So if I wanted to add like an effect on them, I can add the effect to the group. For example, delay. If we do like a ping pong delay, like so. We can mix that in. So when we look through the spectrograph, we still see the original image. We just then, after the fact, see a bit more. Like so. Is that long enough? Yeah, I think we're a little slow. So yes to everything except the tempo. Let's see. See what we can do about that. Let's give it a bit more life. Not really fond of that kit, to be honest. Oh, broken it. That'll do probably. There we go. Bit more energy. There we go. I'm not so hot on the ping pong effect anymore, actually. What if we just had this? But then, of course, we can have a little more fun with it. We can do some kind of glitchy effects to it, which would then hopefully, if we do tempo-based glitchy effects, that will help with it being not quite in time, which it's not. It will also help look really cool. So we could go ill-formed glitch to VST. Give that a second to load. Actually, no. Let's do reactor. there's some chorus stuff built into Reactor as well, so we'll do that. I agree with you. Trap drums would sound great. I can't do trap drums. It's a blind side. It's a blind spot of mine. Maybe one day I'll get around to actually doing some proper trap drums. Maybe I'll like learn it as a stream. That's probably a good idea. So Razor, what I want is the finger. Give me that finger. There we go. So then we just want to find glitch chopper, I guess. These are all a bunch of loops and such. So I'm going to add MIDI, finger control. So then that's going to link to Reactor like so. And we're gonna give me that finger. That's what they all said. They all want that finger. I'm just adding stuff kind of randomly. I mean, that feels like it's more in tempo, so let's have a look at Supervision. That's quite cool. Not so fond of this one. Let's move that there, see what that does. Let's do like an kind of offbeat. Faster, like so. Sounds a little annoying as well. Let's bring it down here. Yeah, the end bit I don't really like the way it ends. So I wonder if I keep that going. So then if I were to just, for example, duplicate that across and maybe change some of these, I don't know. Do that. So something that's annoying me ever so slightly is the pitching of it. So what I'm going to do is take all of these down a few notes as well. Better. So they're all quite loud as well, so we're just going to bring that down a bit. And then what else could we do? Let's have a little look actually at the EQ of it. Yeah, some of them are adding some low-end noise, so I'm just going to nuke that ever so slightly. I don't think that's going to change things too much. Let's try and make it a little more musical. So, as you can sort of see here, drums obviously come out in the spectrograph as well. The helpful thing about drums is that visually they don't last very long. They're sort of just these kind of vertical lines, aren't they? So they don't interrupt visually what's going on too much. Which is really helpful. And it gives us a bit of freedom to add stuff in between those. Add stuff in between those? That's not what I mean at all. Sorry, it's been a long day. It gives us freedom to add more stuff, essentially. I'm going to start by adding a bass. What is good to know is that actually these images, they don't really do anything lower than 1 kilohertz. So if we have quite a simple, what's this? 250. Okay. So if we have like a really simple bass line, we shouldn't need to. I don't know. We shouldn't need too much high-end information if we simplify the bass sound a little bit. So we'll go Retrolog because that's probably the program I can use the fastest. So we'll just build in something. Whereabouts is that? Okay. Sine wave? Yeah. We can also cut off okay, that'll do. Let's see how we get on with that. I don't really know what key we're in. D. Sure. Let's go for D. Yeah, D sharp just sounds a little better there. Now, obviously, I don't even know if you'll really be able to hear that. That is kind of staying out of the way, which is great. So that's really handy. It's just that those bass notes don't really sound satisfying by themselves. So let's see if we can add a little more to that. Okay, let's try that. Solo it. That's a bit better. So then let's change the pitching up a little bit. I mean, that'll probably do. So bass was easy to add because it's out of the way, right? We've got the stuff that's being sonified up here. The bass is kind of lower than 1 kilohertz. The drums, the samples are dense, but they don't take up much time. We're going to think about chords, and then it's going to get a little more challenging. So let's maybe go. Let's go pad shop. The reason I say pad shop is because you can, of course, import samples. So actually, wouldn't it be kind of fun to import Aliens guy or Trollface maybe? I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but like let's find out. No, there's no indication there. Oh, there he is. That's really funny. Yeah, of course that makes sense. I don't know why it wouldn't. Let's maybe let's find a preset of strings. Again, if we try to do like really short bursts, it might be easier to kind of fit stuff in. I'm going to I'm going to change the rhythm like this. Well, that'll do. Actually, I'm going to add another octave to that. And also a third. Because I think what we could do is we could kind of fade between these. We could, for example, just put like a filter or an EQ on the pad, and likewise on the monograms, so then they can kind of swap places, kind of. So let's open up an EQ, and then I'm going to say we're just going to nuke everything high shelf, like so. So it's pretty muffled, but then we're just gonna automate between those states. So we're going to your audio interface just broke. Oh no, that's not what you want. That's not what anyone wants. We're gonna spend these 4 bars transitioning. So we're gonna grab this, and we're gonna start up here, and we're also gonna take this. We're going to start here. So actually maybe I don't know, the monograms stay there or the monograms fade in maybe. Let's maybe not have them glitch out to start with. Let's have them just fade in, I think. Maybe over the course of, yeah, maybe twice as long. Perhaps not that extreme. Cool. So in terms of like the music itself, it's not the most inspiring thing in the world, but it functions, it works, it changes a little. So let's build up a new section and maybe have this this aliens as like a riser of some kind. Let's just do like 4 on the floor perhaps. I don't know. I don't know how to do drops. Yes, screw it. Or it does kind of feel like it rises to that point, though, doesn't it? Or do we maybe do... no, okay, right. So what we'll do is we'll grab troll face. We'll grab the bigger troll face. Let's grab that. But faster. So let's just smush him down. Yeah, and then we'd start the next thing. Do we see it? Very silly. Lovely. We can actually move that a little bit earlier if we wanted to. Yep. Another thing we could do to make it sound a bit more like it fits is put like a really fast tremolo on there. So we're just going to go modulation, not tremolo, chopper or tremolo, either of them, and we'll set that quite high, like 16ths or something. Come back. Too fast. So then how does that look through the supervision? So you might be able to see you can sort of see add some lines to it, which is fine because it still looks right. We did also have this riser. I wonder if we could add that to the to this bit. I don't think it'll be obvious. Oh, I sort of see it. It's tricky. Maybe that should just be an intro then. I don't know. Let's take that kick drum from before. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, why not? Those kick drums are actually a little annoying. They've got quite a lot of high end in them. That's a bit better. I think the bass could do the same thing as Pad Shop. You know, actually, for this thing, I think I'm going to leave this alone because I feel like I've demonstrated what we came here to demonstrate. The other thing I think I just want to get into is if you have something that's a little more interesting, there's a little more going on. There are still ways to totally make stuff fit. So let's open these up again. Let's open up this bass. That's not what I wanted. And let's say actually this pad, we actually have the notes play a little bit longer. You know, the length that they actually might. Let's say you got something like this. Which is kind of dense. Let's stick some more in that actually. Let's have like an arpeggio. Let's go retrolog. Let's go square. Let's go. Oh, I need the chord theory, don't I? Oh, actually, yeah. Let's just do that. Let's take. Sorry, I've lost track of what I'm doing. There we go. My brain just stopped working for a second there. It does happen quite often. I should see a doctor, but I won't. I won't. Let's get rid of these higher octaves actually. Make this a tighter chord. Oh, that wasn't an octave, was it? My bad. That's cool. Let's move that shape around as well. LFO1. So that's nice, but it's quite intrusive. I mean, we could probably add that octave in after all.
Lovely. So it's a little weird, but it's definitely got more going on than previously. So then, how would you add a sound to this when it's already so dense, right? Let's take that troll sample from before, and if we just, for example, place it here. I mean, you can kind of see it. What you might have more luck doing is literally just making a break for it. Making a break for it, just leaving a gap for it to happen. It's Shaq. Probably saying that wrong. Very sorry. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. So we can make some space of that. So let's have a little drum fill to start with. Let's do this and then have a flam. So bring it back in. I had more space. So it goes up to there, I guess. Okay, so we'll just something like this. Now let's have that there. And we'll maybe just make the sample a little longer. And we're just going to nuke all of that stuff. Maybe with the retrolog, we'll use the cutoff. We'll just bring that down like so. That would work. Let's have a look under the spectrograph. I mean, that's a fairly heavy-handed way of making stuff fit, but it totally works. It's Shaq. Yes, so thing is, because of what we're doing, we're sort of tied to this BPM, which I appreciate makes no sense if you've just dropped in, but might be worth watching the start of the video earlier. Basically, because of the images that we're sampling, we're kind of tied to the BPM that fits the images. Otherwise, if I change the BPM, I have to change a lot of stuff, and then it all falls apart. Oh, but that reminds me, I can here. I can be less abrasive with that kick drum filter, right? So let's. Oh, that's a pain in the ass to do. Automation, add new. Here. Thank you. Battery cutoff, low pass. Is that what I wanted? Oh yeah, so it is. My bad. So we can bring that back up so we hear that kick drum a little bit more. So that's a really heavy-handed way of making a visual sample, making space for a sonified sample. But it totally works, right? I mean, you can see the thing, and the music underneath it sounds a lot better because of it, as opposed to what we had before. where you have to quite brutally EQ the music underneath the images in order to make the images visible. But then if you're sacrificing too much of the music quality, you know, the thing that people are hearing isn't going to be as compelling, so people aren't going to care that you've hidden images in it, right? It's a really fine line to kind of follow. And when I was working with these artists, this was the thing that I always found, is that actually, like, you know, how musical am I allowed to be? Am I supposed to just be playing these sounds raw? And this was when we did Sonification performances, if you can believe. We got funding for that. We did these performances, and some people would always say they just wanted to just take the image, because it was other people's artwork that I was sonifying. Take the artwork, just play it, and don't like manipulate the sound in any way. Just do it raw. And there are other people who are like, no, make it musical, make it fit, make it work with whatever beat you're putting underneath it. And I could never quite find the balance. So that is the challenge. But I think it is worth bearing in mind. If you're going to do this kind of thing, those are the kind of conversations you start to have with yourself, and you start to wonder, okay, how much of the music itself do I want to risk reducing the quality of it just because I've got these images in here? And when we do stuff, oh, I see what happened. That's kind of fun. I didn't know I did that. Anyway, back to this one. By contrast, having this version where you make space and then you just play the sound, you know, you don't have that same issue. So that really is an intro to sonification, and I don't really have anything else to say about it other than I like it a lot. It's something that I always come back to, and it's something that anytime I have a cool project like the Type to Your Bleed film, soundtrack available on Spotify, obviously. Anytime I have a big cool project like that, I always think, okay, is there a way that I can insert images into this in a way that will be fun, in a way that will add to the lore, or add to the story that we're telling, without it just being like intrusive sounds? Because I can sort of tell most of the time if someone's inserted an image into something, because it always sounds like the sounds that we've heard today. Hiding it is a bit more of a challenge. But yeah, I hope those tips have been helpful. Yes, Itchak, absolutely. So we kind of played a little bit with delay at the start. The risk... Oh, I keep pressing that one button. The risk or the challenge or whatever you want to call it is that when you add stuff like that, it can blur the image. So if we take this one, if I remove... it doesn't let me... that's interesting. If I, for the moment, just delete the finger controller and I add reverb, just like a normal kind of reverb. I've soloed the monograms for the moment. Supervision, there we go. So the trade-off when you use reverb is that it does kind of blur the image somewhat. And obviously if you use a load of reverb, you lose the quality of your image. If you're doing something like these stings... no, I see what I did there. Let's try that again. If you are using something like these stings, you know, maybe that's fine for whatever you're trying to do. But for me, it feels like, again, we've tried to make it fit, but then we've sacrificed the image. You can automate it so the reverb's not playing while the sample is playing. That's true. Yeah, absolutely. So let's say, for example, we'll have it long, but then we'll mix it in like so. Oh, that's not quite what I wanted. Let's try this. Let's have it like 7%. There we go. Oh, because I changed the brightness. Let's deal with that. There we go. Yeah, so there's stuff like that that kind of works. I would say, we talk a lot in music production about not fixing it in the mix. Like, we're better off having a good audio sample to begin with. So for that kind of thing, I think it's worth, if you've got a sound and it really doesn't fit, I think it is worth going to the source and manipulating the audio file, either by reducing the contrast if you want something that's maybe, it'll be slightly noisier but it won't be as abrasive, or if you want to streamline the image, increasing the contrast, like making sure that you don't have dark grays, making sure they're just off, they're just completely black, and then doing those kind of linear distortion things, I think really helps, because it makes it sound slightly more musical. Like we said towards the start, the difference between Troll Face and other Troll Face, just putting those lines in helps sell it a little more in a musical context. You can't see my screen right now because I'm bad at this. What I was saying was the difference between the original Troll Face image, and then when we added those lines in Photoshop, this version played a little better on the in a musical sense. It just sounded more musical. The one thing we didn't play with was You Don't Say. Let's load that into ILHarmor. Let's create another one. Actually, I don't want you to go to... Oh, that's weird. Oh, fine, doesn't matter. So in here, let's just load in You Don't Say. That's quite interesting. Something I really like about this as well... That's really annoying. Just stay there. You can have a ping pong effect, so it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The playhead. So, for example, if I select the right thing, that is not the right thing. Excuse me. Where's he gone? There he is. Hey, we can't see it. That's annoying. But the playhead bounces back and forth. Is that something we can fix with the scale? Linear cubic. That's better, but it's very distorted. Nope. That's slightly better, I think. Yep. So, yeah, some things work better than other things is the, and the response to that is, You Don't Say. That is today's lesson. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. I've had a very long day. My throat is absolutely killing me. These streams are happening every Monday. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. They are a lot of fun. I am not going to stop. So there. You can't make me stop. Maybe next week I'll be a little better lit. We'll have to find out. What are we doing next week? I think we're doing Hair Metal is Stupid, another stream title that I came up before deciding what the stream was. It's probably going to be something about hair metal. We're probably going to get in touch with our inner white snake, which is something I personally am very much looking forward to. So yeah, that's that. I will see you a week from today, 6 p.m. UK time next Monday. Toodles and stuff by then.